Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are strapping in for a deep dive into the absolute cutting edge of human optimization.
We really are.
We're moving far beyond the standard wellness advice and talking about, radical longevity techniques, the fundamental role of muscle.
And these high-tech neuroenhancement strategies, it's a vast landscape. I mean, this is some of the most complex material we've ever tried to tackle.
It is. We've synthesized a whole stack of sources covering everything from genetic breakthroughs to these competing diet protocols from experts like David Sinclair and Peter Attia.
And we're going to try and connect the dots.
Exactly. The mission today is to unify the physical foundation of your skeletal muscle with that futurist frontier of gene therapy and AI. The goal is to give you a really comprehensive roadmap for maximizing your health span.
Right. We're not just talking about living longer, it's about the quality and capability of those years.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with, the literal blueprint of aging itself.
So when we talk about anti-aging research, we have to understand what's actually, going on under the hood. What are the mechanisms of decline?
Right.
And our sources really focus on two foundational hallmarks of aging. The first one is damage accumulation, which you often hear about through the free radical theory.
Which, put simply, just sounds like the body's sort of rusting from the inside.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's wear and tear from what are called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. These are molecules generated just by living and breathing, and they can damage everything. Your DNA, proteins, cell membranes. The body is in this constant fight against cellular rust.
So that's the chemical damage. What's the other sort of biological clock ticking down?
That would be telomere attrition. If you think of the little plastic caps on your shoelaces. Telomeres are like that, but for your chromosomes. And every single time a cell divides, those caps get a tiny bit shorter. It's like a molecular clock.
And once they get too short, the cell just stops.
It either dies or it enters this dysfunctional state called senescence. And this isn't just theory. The sources are clear that this shortening is directly tied to a loss of regenerative capacity.
And it's even connected to some really severe premature aging disorders. It's a real physical limit.
It is. And that, of course, leads to the big question, how do we fight it? And scientists are really coming at this from two directions.
Okay.
There's geroscience, which is all about preventing the diseases of aging heart disease, cancer. The goal is to prolong your health span.
Makes sense.
But then there's biogerontology, which has a much more radical aim. It treats aging itself as the disease.
So the goal isn't just to delay death, but to make it independent of age entirely.
That's the idea. And the sources suggest we already have drugs that are doing more than just preventing disease. They're actually showing age-slowing effects.
And what's the biggest surprise?
I would say rapamycin, without a doubt. It was originally an immunosuppressive drug. But studies in mice have shown it can extend lifespan by, get this, 9 to 14%. And the key thing was, it wasn't just delaying cancer. It was genuinely slowing the whole aging process down.
That's incredible for an existing drug. What else is showing that kind of promise?
Metformin. It's a really common drug for type 2 diabetes. And just like rapamycin, it's shown benefits for both health span and lifespan in mice.
It had that one really specific finding, right? About the nervous system.
Yes, that it can help restore CNS remyelination. So it's helping repair the protective sheaths around your nerve cells, which is a huge part of age-related neurological decline.
Okay, that takes us to the truly radical frontier. We're moving beyond just repurposing old drugs and into genetics and cellular engineering.
Age reversal.
Exactly. We're talking about literally rewriting the instruction manual. One of the sources cited a clotho gene therapy.
The so-called fountain of youth gene.
That's the one. And it extended the lifespan of mice by up to 20%.
20% is huge. And we're also seeing tools like CRISPR being used, to fix these issues from birth. We are. CRISPR has been used to correct a mutation that causes premature aging in mice, which led to a big jump in lifespan. It's the age reversal concept in action. Find the bug in the code and patch it.
But there's a major catch with gene editing, isn't there? The critique I saw was that it can't really clean up the junk that's already there.
That is the biggest challenge. Gene editing can slow down future damage, maybe by activating telomerase to stop telomeres from shortening, but it doesn't do anything about the garbage that's been piling up in your cells for 50 or 60 years.
So you can stop the leak, but you still have to deal with the water damage.
Perfect analogy.
So how do you clean house at the cellular level?
That's where senolytics come in. These are drugs designed to hunt down and destroy those harmful senescent zombie cells.
Zombie cells.
Yeah, they're cells that refuse to die but don't work right either, and they just sit there spewing out inflammatory signals that damage the healthy tissue around them. Senolytics are like a targeted cleanup crew.
So if you put this all together, slow the clock, you edit the code, you clear the damage, you get to this idea of longevity, escape velocity.
That's the speculative future, yeah. The idea that for every year you live, science extends your life expectancy by more than a year. It's heady stuff.
It is. But the sources also raise some really important counter-arguments. What are the big ethical speed bumps here?
They're almost all socioeconomic. I mean, if these technologies are only available to the super wealthy, which they probably will be at first,
It creates a massive gap.
a biological caste system. It raises huge questions about overpopulation, resource scarcity, and a world where the rich live radically longer lives than everyone else. The technology forces us to think about distribution just as much as capability.
That's the dizzying future. But, what's the point of gaining an extra 20 years if you spend them frail? Before we even get to escape velocity, we need a solid foundation today.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to section 2, the central, non-negotiable role of skeletal muscle. Specifically, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon's concept of muscle-centric medicine.
And this concept completely reframes how we should think about muscle. Most people see it as something for, locomotion or performance.
Lifting things.
Right. But Dr. Lyon argues it's the body's largest endocrine organ and its metabolic sink. It's the primary tissue that determines how you handle blood sugar and manage fat from your diet.
So, muscle health is metabolic. I thought her take on obesity was fascinating. She's not saying it isn't the problem, but that a lot of the health issues we blame on obesity are actually symptoms
Of impaired skeletal muscle. The underlying issue, she argues, is often being under-muscled.
even if you carry excess fat.
Exactly. If your muscle can't efficiently pull in and use glucose, that's what leads to insulin resistance and all the downstream metabolic problems.
And what's its other big role, especially when we're sick or injured?
It's your body's amino acid reservoir. During a crisis, an infection, surgery, an accident, your body needs huge amounts of amino acids for repair and for your immune system.
When it gets them from your muscle.
It pulls them from your muscle to protect your vital organs, like your liver, kidney, and brain. It's like a biological savings account you can draw on in an emergency.
Okay, that's a powerful argument for building up that savings. So if muscle is that essential, let's talk fuel. Protein. The standard RDA is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight.
Right.
But the experts we looked at are saying that's nowhere near optimal.
The gap is huge, and it's so important for people to understand this. That 0.8 number was set as a bare minimum to prevent deficiency.
Not to optimize anything.
Not at all. It was never meant to optimize health span or muscle retention or immune function.
So what's the real target for optimization?
The consensus seems to be somewhere in the range of 1.2 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And for highly active people, some experts push that all the way up to 2.4 kilograms.
That is a massive difference. For a 150-pound person, hitting 1.8 or even 2.2, like Dr. Atiesi suggests, you're looking at maybe 150 grams of protein a day. That takes real effort.
It takes intention. It really does. And your needs change dramatically as you age.
Right, because of anabolic resistance.
Exactly. Your body gets less sensitive to the muscle-building signals from protein. So an older adult needs a much bigger dose of protein in a single meal to get the same effect as a younger person.
How much bigger?
A younger person might get max stimulation from 30 grams of protein, but someone older might need 40 or even 50 grams in one sitting to trigger that same anabolic signal.
You can't just eat like you did when you were 25.
You absolutely cannot.
And there's a one specific amino acid you highlighted that's really critical for long-term health.
That would be lysine. It's essential, meaning your body can't make it. And it's crucial for two things. First, collagen formation for your tendons and ligaments.
Or connective tissues.
Right? And second, for making carnitine, which your muscles need to burn fat for fuel.
And the interesting thing is where you find it, or where you don't.
Correct. Lysine is extremely low in greens, and it's practically non-existent in wheat. So if your diet is really grain-heavy, you're likely shorting yourself on a key component for joint health and fat metabolism.
That is a powerful point about protein quality. So we have the fuel. What about the stimulus? What's the science on how to actually build muscle effectively? Hypertrophy.
So So the sources break it down into two main drivers. Volume, the total amount of work you do, that's the primary driver for hypertrophy, which is muscle size.
Okay.
But intensity, how heavy the weight is, that's the primary driver for speed, power, and strength.
So you don't necessarily have to be lifting your absolute max weight all the time just to build bigger muscles.
Exactly. And the science shows there's a minimum effective dose. Beginners can see great gains with just 3 or 4 hard sets per muscle group per week.
That's very little.
It is. But for most people who are already trained, the optimal range seems to be about 10 to 20 hard sets per major muscle group per week.
And we have to circle this back to that use it or lose it idea. Why is strength training absolutely non-negotiable if you're fasting or cutting calories?
Because muscle is energetically expensive. Your body burns a lot of calories just to maintain it. So if you create a calorie deficit without giving your body that mechanical signal,
The resistance training.
the resistance training, your body sees that muscle as expensive, readily available fuel, and it will break it down. Training is the signal that says, hey, I still need this tissue. Don't get rid of it.
That sets our foundation. Now let's see how the top strategists actually apply this stuff, especially where they disagree. There's a really great contrast between Dr. David Sinclair and Dr. Peter Attia on fasting.
It's fascinating because they're both aiming for the same outcome through different paths. Dr. Sinclair is a huge advocate for intermittent fasting and caloric restriction.
Because it activates those ancient cellular defense pathways.
Exactly. Things like sirtuins and AMPK.
And in simple terms, what are those doing for you?
Sirtuins are like the guardians of your genome. They repair DNA and protect against toxins. AMPK is the cell's energy sensor. When energy is low, like during a fast, it tells the cell to stop building things and start cleaning house.
And Sinclair's whole protocol is built around that.
It is. A plant-focused diet plus supplements like NMN. He takes 1 gram a day, interestingly, with yogurt to help it absorb all to support that DNA repair and mitochondrial function.
Meanwhile, Dr. Attia seems to have backed way off of those long multi-day fasts.
He's made a huge strategic shift, and it all comes back to that muscle-centric view we just talked about. He now sees prolonged fasting as a tool, but one with a major downside.
Muscle loss.
The muscle mass loss. He decided that for him, the risks of losing precious muscle tissue just wasn't worth the potential benefits of autophagy from those long fasts.
That is a major reversal from a leading biohacker. It really shows how critical muscle retention has become in these circles.
It's paramount. So Attia's foundation now is high-quality protein, that 2.2 grams per kilo, and intense resistance training. And he uses tools like continuous glucose monitors, CGMs, to personalize his carb intake.
So Sinclair fasts to trigger longevity signals. Attia eats high protein to build a foundation and protects muscle at all costs. Okay, let's pivot to the mind. Neurohacking strategies.
All right, let's start with vagus nerve stimulation, or VNS.
This is where you're activating the main nerve that connects the brain and the body.
Right, the vagus nerve. And it's used to reduce stress, but also to enhance cognitive function.
How does stimulating a nerve related to rest and digest actually boost your brain?
It's very targeted. VNS stimulates neurons in a part of the brainstem called the locus coeruleus, or LC. This triggers a release of norepinephrine, specifically in the hippocampus, which is your brain's memory center. And that release of norepinephrine is known to help consolidate memories.
And there was a specific benefit under stress, wasn't there?
Yes. A study using a non-invasive neck device showed it improved multitasking performance, especially when people were sleep deprived.
Interesting.
And here's the really fascinating part. The cognitive boost peaked several hours after the stimulation ended. It's not an immediate jolt. It's a lingering adaptive effect.
That delayed benefit is really unexpected. Okay, last one. Let's talk about boosting the brain's power grid, the mitochondria with light.
We're talking about red light therapy or photobiomodulation, PBM. You use specific wavelengths of red and near-infrared light.
They actually penetrate the brain tissue.
They do. And they target the mitochondria, the powerhouses inside every cell, including the brain cells. It's like a non-chemical catalyst that ramps up the production of cellular energy, or ATP.
More ATP means brain cells have more energy to work and repair themselves.
Precisely. And the observed effects are pretty significant.
What kind of improvements are we seeing?
In cases of chronic mild traumatic brain injury, RLT has led to significant improvements in core executive functions. Things like inhibition and task switching, and also verbal memory. It's strong evidence that optimizing cellular energy is a powerful route to cognitive resilience.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? We've gone from gene therapy to repair telomeres, all the way to using a CGM to fine-tune your diet.
The synthesis is pretty clear. Longevity optimization really requires this dual focus.
You have to have both.
You have to. You must maintain that physical foundation. That means prioritizing muscle, getting that high protein intake, and doing smart, consistent resistance exercise.
And at the same time,
You have to engage with that cutting edge, explore the supplements, the neuromodulation tools like VNS, and use data to personalize your own strategy. It's so individual.
we started this talking about the absolute frontier of technology. Let's end there. Sam Altman recently talked about his plan to build these gigawatt AI factories for what he calls abundant intelligence.
Believing that if we have enough compute, we can solve the grand challenges, curing cancer, ending scarcity.
Right. And if that future arrives, if AI solves all those massive global problems for us, the final challenge shifts. It comes right back to the individual.
The ultimate scarcity won't be money or resources. It'll be the time and the biological capacity to actually experience that future.
Your last challenge is maintaining the biological and cognitive resilience, the strong muscle and the sharp brain, so that you can fully participate in that age of abundance when it gets here.
That's the real investment you can make starting today.